Well, we're going to be talking to Barbara Safransky today, Reverend Barbara. She had a store in Salem for about 30 years.
No, 35.
35 years.
Yep,
She's
35.
known as the Salem Love Psychic. She has done spiritualist lectures and seances throughout the country in many different spiritualist churches. She's a member of the Order of Melchizedek and many, many, many other things, and a wonderful person too. But we're going to go over today just the basics of psychic readings, and we'll get into like the nitty gritty of this stuff. So, what would you want to say first about it?
Well, a lot of people during my years of doing readings, and I've been doing readings for over 50 years, which makes me a little old.
Yeah, spring chicken.
Spring chicken, yeah.
Still dancing.
Still going strong at 89. And I think that that's a wonderful age. The 80s are really different than any other part of life. They really are. And people, one of the things they always ask me, how do I do it? What is it? How do you know these things? How do you know that my mother wore hearing aids that were pink? Something like that. And I say, because I have learned to. Because when I was a child, I did not do these things that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
Or did I even have messages come in? When I was a little older, after my grandmother died, and I was married at that time and had a child, I had my grandmother come at night and just call my name, Barbara. And the only reason I knew it was my grandmother because it sounded like her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was from Canada, so they have a little bit of a little accent there. And so that's why I knew it was my grandmother. And I said, what is she coming back and talking to me for? So I had to go out and investigate what was starting to happen to me because I was becoming very interested in seeing things, knowing things. I got involved into a spiritualist church, joined their classes, which were meditation classes. And meditation is how you learn it all.
Mm-hmm.
That's what brings it through because you're going to different areas of consciousness, which is in here. Not the brain itself. The brain is a whole different ball game. That will bring you the voices. You'll be able to see, know. And so, how do you gain in your life out of doing these things? It brought me to a place of understanding what it was all about.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't have to read about it. I just knew it.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it. And when I was young, I always wanted to be a singer. I can't sing at all now. I
Could
wouldn't
you
even
then at all?
attempt it. I'm lucky I can get my voice going now.
But you sounded good in the shower.
Huh?
You sounded good in the shower.
I don't know about
Okay.
that. Many people have moved away from me because of my singing.
I had one friend, he always would, Native American, related to Sitting Bull, and all the spirits would come and try to talk to him when he was drawing. So to shut him up, he gave up drawing. So you just had to sing at him, and then he would leave you alone.
Probably. And well, I did. I used to go up. We lived on a big hill, and I went up to our bathroom was on the second floor. I used to go in the bathroom and sing. I wasn't using it. I was just sitting there because the window opened out to an open space.
Mm-hmm.
And when you sang into it, your voice would, uh, people must have laughed at me by doing that because I would sing all these songs, and my mom and dad never said anything to me about it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to take singing lessons, but they couldn't really afford it, so I didn't know about angels and all that. I went to a Catholic church.
And when is this, about the 30s or
I
40s?
was in my.
I mean, what time, what year? Was he like, thinking about singing lessons? Was it 44
I
or,
never thought of seances,
but what
Chris.
year? Get a,
I was only about 12 years old.
but it was at 1942 or,
I was born in 1936.
okay.
Now you know how old I am, 89. But back then, you're still a kid and you're thinking about what you like to do. And I like to sing. So I went in the room and shut the door and sang out to the world.
And the angels showed up anyway.
And the angels did show up. I got into, that's the truth, because I saw one on the top of a neighbor's roof.
Mm-hmm.
And how did I know it was an angel? I just knew.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bright white light that was the shape of a human and had wings on the back of it. And it was something that I've never forgotten from that time on. And I was about 12 or
Mm-hmm.
13 around in there coming into growing up. But it was something that was unknown at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't talk about ghosts. You didn't talk about witches. You didn't do something that was off the wall that I did.
There was a, do you ever hear what was a falling out between Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote Sherlock Holmes, and Houdini?
Yes.
The thing was, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's wife did a reading for Houdini. Had channeled his mother. He always wanted to hear from his mother again. Now, she probably was correct in what she had said, but to Houdini, his wife didn't use a Hungarian accent, and that was the end of the friendship. He thought the wife was making it up because she didn't have the accent.
Oh, yeah.
So, how many times when you do the channeling, do you actually speak in the accents, or usually just your own voice?
Both.
Both. Okay.
That and more. I now when I do my readings, because I've been in it for so long, I was in my late 30s when I started to get involved in it. And my mother was very ill at that time. And I used to go for the healings and everything and bring him home to her and talk to her about it because she was arthritic and couldn't walk. She came to live with me about 2 years after I was married, my mother and my father. And she was a devout Catholic. She went to Catholic schools and everything else. We didn't go to Catholic schools, but we went to the Catholic Church and went to uh, the classes and so forth. But being who I am, a little devil, my sister and I, we were supposed to walk from the church and go to the school, the Catholic school around the corner. And I'd say, Betty, come on, let's go. I got a little bit of money and we'll go up this corner store and buy some candy and not go to the classes. So I missed a lot of classes because I like candy, but I didn't enjoy
I think Betty
sitting
liked
there
candy
with
too, right?
a nun. It was the nuns that I really couldn't get into my head
Mm-hmm.
what they were saying about things from the past and everything. So I just went on my own way and let my mind grow as much as I could. And then when I got to be, before I was married, I started to go to meditation classes and started to learn it. And then I joined the Spiritualist Church as I got older and became the uh, secretary, the vice president of the church. I was the president of the church, and I did that because I wanted to get up and talk to the rest of the people
Mm-hmm.
on Sundays.
So, what are some of the things that channeled in the Spiritualist Church that was like some of the more fascinating or more helpful readings you had given people?
I would go right to the people. I would meditate before I went to the church and could see different colors in different areas, pink and greens and things like that. And I used to pray that I would be able to go to those people because by then, now I was doing readings.
Mm-hmm.
And if I saw a person with a pink sweater on, I would go to them. And the information would just come in, either about them or their grandparents or whatever they were looking for. I would bring through information that was proven. And to me, that was the biggest miracle that I could have ever thought that I could ever do something like that, because it's not easy to bring in someone who's passed on. You have to kind of ask for them. And I got to the point that I could see them before I asked for them
Mm-hmm.
and describe the person, like if they had glasses on, little round glasses or cat eye glasses, or what color their hair was. But I only could do all of this just because I believed in my heart that this was all real, that I was reaching someone who had passed on. I believed it way inside because there's no way I'd know these things. I didn't know the people, and people in the church started coming to me for readings.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, then I went through all the things and became a spiritualist and went to all and became the president of the class and so forth, and learned. And I had the best teachers in the whole world. Every teacher that came to me and wanted to teach me were reverends.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look for them. They came and said, I got a class. Would you like to come to it? And I would go to the classes and learn all about spiritualism. But spiritualism is just like Catholicism. You know, it's all the same. There's
Mm-hmm.
no difference in the world, that every religion doesn't fall into the same sequence.
I've
Sequence.
been to a couple of, like the Wiccan circles, and it did just look like a Catholic mass outside. There's
Yeah,
not much difference either.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I'm a reverend, so I can marry you and bury you,
Yeah.
but I can bring in people now that I am reached up into higher dimensions. And that's kind of scary when you don't understand. I understand all
And you like the
this.
aliens.
Huh?
And you like the aliens.
Yeah, yeah. And I love the aliens. Yeah, the ETs. I believe in all of them. I wouldn't walk away from any of it because I've seen them. That's why I believe,
Yeah.
because they've shown themselves to me during my growing years in this particular field. Uh, but I always kept on going to meditation classes until I started to teach it myself.
Mm-hmm.
then that was too much meditation. Well, I started
Especially
to.
for an Aries, you got to keep you grounded.
I gotta keep me grounded. That's why I wear certain types of shoes to stay grounded now, because I could sail off into the blue probably if I really, really wanted to, because I've done it. When I meditate, I go to places that I don't know where I'm at, but they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gone to different countries, and I studied in England for many years, and that was a wonderful experience to do that, because these people all were brought up within the the spiritualist religion, and they came from all different parts of the world to go to this school.
You think that's why the one woman from Manchester, England, ended up working for you? It was kind of just you
Yeah,
pulled her to you
yep,
from it being in England.
yep, yep. And when I went to the classes, they the teachers, after they got to know me and everything, would make sure that I was in their classes, because I brought through things that even they didn't bring
Mm-hmm.
through. It isn't that I was better than anybody else. That was not the issue. I just trusted in what I was receiving as something that should be shared.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I gave up my life where I was living to have my children live a normal life, but always go to a class every single week, all the time. My children understood. I took them to church once in a while, but if they didn't want to go, they didn't have to go.
Mm-hmm.
And as they got older, I took them into my classes, and like to teach children. I love to teach the younger ones because they don't know. But nowadays, they do.
Yeah. Was it? They got to maybe 6 years old when they have to have concrete thinking, but before that, it's imaginary friends, and they still have that imagination that things are possible.
That's for sure. And and they did. The kids would come to
Well, the other
me.
thing I just heard was that I guess before 6, if you give a kid like an IQ test, they're all geniuses.
Oh, they are.
And then by about 7, then they go into what they're told, how smart they're supposed to be.
Yep. And that's why I love to do it with the children. I have five, 2 children and great five grandchildren. They have had children, so now I have 7 great grandchildren. So that's 12 people right there that I've touched.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was 50, I decided I wanted to do this for the rest of my life. So I just, being in Aries, just got up and left my husband. And it was when my kids were married and had children, and my mom and dad had died, and they were all gone. But I couldn't see staying with this person for the rest of my life. And I didn't know why, so I left him.
Mm-hmm.
And then all hell broke loose because I found a business right straight away. I didn't have to plan things, they were coming to me. Uh, a man was going to let me rent the place in Salem, Massachusetts, with all the witches for about $200 a month. Now you have to
Mm.
pay 3,000, because that's when I ended up, because I moved around and went to different places. But I stayed there a long, long time, and I started classes of my own. and started studying to become a reverend and became a reverend, but didn't finish it till I was in my 60s.
So, what is the order of Melchizedek?
The order of Melchizedek, and I say it that way because I stutter. So if I stutter, that's the way it goes. He is, I had found him through uh, movies that people had given me. And I started watching it. And this man was what they call a walk-in. And I didn't know what a walk-in was. I've learned all this through experience. And I found out where he was teaching in New York, upstate New York, at a college.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to go there every summer and take classes from him. And he could do readings just like that.
And what was his name?
Huh?
What was his name?
I forget his real name. We just called him Melchizedek.
Okay.
I don't remember his
So he
real
could
name.
be incarnation of the historical one that meant Abraham.
Yeah, I think he took the name on because of that,
Okay.
going way back. And he could do a reading on anybody and bring through names and everything else because he was probably a good 20 years older than me, so he had a lot more schooling than I did at that time. Because I had to learn it all.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have anybody teaching. I went to all the classes that I could find of people and got deeper and deeper and deeper in until, and that's how I had enough courage to start my own business because when you are in a mediumship course, and that's how you learn how to bring somebody who has passed on back, and you can actually see them because you work with your subconscious levels inside of your mind. And I had to learn all about that, so I know a lot of things that people don't know because they didn't have a reason to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am a person that has to find out right down to the core how it all works.
Did you used to break your toys and put them back together again?
Huh?
Did you break your toys just to figure out how they worked? Okay.
No, I did a lot of things in it. I went to different teachers, uh, all reverends. The best of all was Earl Myers, which was the reverend of the church, and he was going to retire
The Spiritualist
in
Church, or
the
okay.
Spiritualist Church in Swampscott, Mass. And the people who were running it at that time wanted me to get my reverendship so I could run the church because they wanted to move on within it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. I started learning my reverendship by Morris Pratt, which I found out later was the hardest of all. And I'm not a student that likes to study, believe me. But I learned things and remembered them because my memory was very good. Like I ran 3 businesses all at the same time because I could remember what each place needed. But that was all because I worked in meditation
Mm-hmm.
and read all the time, all the spiritual books that I could find, that I would be able to go deeper and deeper into consciousness so I could get into my super conscious level. Now I channel, and that's taking understanding and the knowledge of what comes from the divine consciousness of all.
Mm-hmm.
The Spiritualist Church don't call what God normally is. They believe in spirit, which is what happens to you after you die. You become a spirit. So you live on forever. And I believe that you live on forever. And I've had past life experiences that have come to me. Like one was from the days when I had to have been in Salem, Massachusetts, because it came in as not as a dream necessarily, but as a vision that I was tied up to a pole in the middle of a city,
Mm-hmm.
smaller city. If you looked out, it was really a castle out in front of me, and people were standing all around me, and I was tied up to this pole, and down at the bottom they was throwing big bales of straw, and then they lit it on fire, and I kept calling out, "Forgive them, God, forgive," and I can remember this so
Mm-hmm.
clear. "Forgive them, God, they just do not understand about you yet. Don't kill them," because that castle was being invaded by different outside energies, like the ones that you're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And did I die there? Yes, I did. And I remember it, but I never felt the burn. I could see it, and I just would send prayers out to the people who were watching it and say things like, "Don't do the things that you're doing. Don't do that so and so. Don't do that," until they finally died.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Damn
was
James
one
the First.
lifetime. Huh?
Damn James the First. He started the witch hysteria because I think he was a little bit superstitious when he was up in Scotland, and then he takes over England, and then he had, I believe, mistresses who were expensive and a war to fight. So how do you get the money? Well, you take it from the poorhouse, close all the poorhouse to take the money. Well, what do you do with the people who are supposed to be in the poorhouse? You call them witches and you just burn them. So you didn't need the poorhouses no more.
And they did that. They did that too. And my family's from Scotland and England and French Canadian. So I have uncles that have the kilts
Mm-hmm.
and everything and play the
Bagpipes
bagpipes.
and
It's been the most wonderful journey that I could have ever have chosen in my life to be into, because I'm always happy. I'm not depressed. I never get down on people. I was a boss out of in 3 businesses at one time in different parts of the city, but not so much that I had to stop teaching it. And I do workshops, I do seances, which is bringing in people, excuse me, from the past, and with people who I don't know at all, and these people would be from all around the world. And that's not easy to do. To go to a person you've never met and yet start telling them things about themselves.
sometimes it comes in funny ways. Like I was doing a mediumship for somebody, and the first thing was they wanted me to have the person's name, but the name didn't pop up. A cartoon in my head did. Do you remember the Bugs Bunny cartoon with the
Yep.
abominable snowman?
Yep.
And I'm going to hug him and squeeze him and call him
Yep.
George,
Yep.
which is a spoof on mice and men. So the abominable snowman is like the spoof of Lenny from the original book. So I'm like, does hug him and squeeze him and call him George mean anything? And the person goes, well, my brother's name is Lenny. It's like, well, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. And that's how it is. And I wanted to bring in names, and I bring in names, houses, jobs. I, it's helps people to understand that there really is something beyond this life of ours, really. And I've seen visions from all around the world. I had, and I've checked them out. Like I had to describe before I went to this school in England what it looked like inside, and I could go there and describe the whole front of the building, the inside, the rooms inside. And this was an old place that was a
Is this
mansion at
from
one
your
time.
current skills, you think, or you think you actually been there in the past?
Oh, I could have been there in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Because I know so much, I knew so much about the painting that was on the wall, which was a beautiful woman with her dog that was sitting there. And I described it all, the colors and everything else. And the picture was almost as wide as this wall here. It was that big because I did that with Earl Myers, who was my first teacher. He's gone now, but he comes back to see
Mm-hmm.
me and touches me. They'll come back and pull my shirts at night and stuff. And now they do it to Joe, my partner.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody would want to get beyond depression, get beyond a place where they don't like themselves and get into doing all of this, your life would be a lot happier. I am always happy. Very rare do I ever yell and scream at anybody, unless maybe you hit my car with something like it's been hit and things like that.
Yeah, but most of that's from you hitting things.
Yeah, I've hit plenty of cars. Oh my gosh. I've had 4 or 5 head on collisions. There's no reason why I wouldn't be dead.
Oh, the spirit had you around for a reason.
I had to teach all those classes and help all the people that came to me for readings. Because when you come to me for a reading, it's not just a reading, because I'll start channeling. Now I'm even more so, and I'll bring in things about your life that you never think I'd ever know about. And I don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what I say,
Yeah.
because I'm bringing it in from a higher dimensional plane. That's what we call heaven. But it's much more than that. And you will live in each one of these places that you go to, because it's all about learning.
Yeah. And you still learn on the other side too.
Yeah. And you do the same thing there.
Yeah. And us on this side can also counsel those on the other side too for their next lives.
That's why there's so many, especially women, but now men have gotten into the healing method, and you learn how to heal. I'm a Reiki master, a polarity therapist, a unified healer, and probably 7 or 8 more things that I have learned. I know reflexology, feet reflexology. Became Finally, I got my reverendship when I was about 69 or 70. I started it when I was in my 30s. And people hired me and took me without me having all this because I know so much. And I could bring through so much realism to a person's life from their own past. Do, do I do it now? Yes, I still do. My people have followed me, still come to me from, I don't do it like I did when I had the business. I mean, that was a whole different ballgame. Because I've been completely led everywhere in my life. Every man in my life that I've cared about or been with or lived with have been cancers. Cancers take care of you. After my third partner, boyfriend at that time, he came in, he was 11 years younger than me. You remember him, George? And he was probably one of the best psychics I ever had. Because he did a lot of drugs when he was young. So he saw a lot of things. I didn't do that. I didn't. If I do a reading, I never have a drink. If I do, I don't do drugs. I used to do pot once in a while, but now I don't do anything. Just go.
Just chocolate.
Just channel, and it goes right up there, and I can feel it. Now what I'm doing is bringing in the people themselves, and they're coming into me, my body, and my hands will start going different ways, my legs will change, my face will change, because I'm bringing through, and I'm going to do a movie with that, with my girlfriend and you take the pictures, because don't want anybody else to do it except you. So I'll tell you when we're going to do it. I have certain people that I won't read, uh, or certain things, certain places that I won't go into because I don't like the feeling within that. I don't like to do a reading on a drunk person or someone who's on drugs or anything. And that's why I don't, because I wouldn't want them to do that to me. So I want to be clear. And I do prayers a lot. I pray all the time. Every time an ambulance goes by me, I stop and say a prayer, bless myself, because I believe in the design of Father, Son, Holy Spirit, of being there, and pray that they'll live. Why do I do that? Because I want to help them. Why did I do readings? Because I wanted to help people. And I've taken psychology courses and everything else so that I can give people the highest understanding of why they're where they're at.
That's the other trick. There's a lot of psychics in Salem that could divine things. But the trick is, how good is your psychology to be able to take the information from the other side, look at where the person is who's in front of you, and be able to give them the right words to bring the psychology to help them. It's not as, I don't find as effective if you can just guess that their favorite color is this or their favorite animal is that. But you need the psychology.
Of why, to get through the period that they're going through, which might be destroying their life at this time, or a marriage or a relationship, or children that come into their lives that can wreck their lives. Why are they like this? Why are they on drugs at this age? Blah, blah, blah. And That's why I've taken many, many psychology courses. Um, I also took crystal healings and went to the school. Now I can't think of the name, and that you learn all about crystals and you use your crystals for healing. And I use crystals for healing. And I got into healing people, and I love to do that. And I don't do it as much now because I'm enjoying not working, and that's
Hey, at almost
important.
90, you deserve it. You were a little late
And
coming to retirement.
because I'm an Aries, I have to keep learning all the time. And my rising sign's a Sag. And that's another sign that has great mental abilities. And they remember things. And I probably have a little Scorpio when I get mad.
Also, there's a very amorous side to Scorpios, too.
Yes. Oh, yes. They're great lovers. They're great lovers. And uh, my moon is in Taurus. So that is your emotional factor. So with all of those energies and these are the planetary structures. See, I've learned a lot about astrology and all of that by being in this field, but I've gone to school for it, so I learned it the right way. I just didn't listen to what people said to me. I'd go and investigate, and then I would have the knowledge to be able to say it myself. Do I miss it? Yes. Do I want to go back? I Yes, I would. I'd like to get up in front of 1,000 people and tell them all that I know and all that I understand. You don't have to be unhappy.